Welcome to Building a Band Program, a special series from Rock School Proprietor Podcast. I'm John Kazicki, owner of Michigan Rock School, and this series is for studio owners who want to add a band program to their studio or who have a band program and want to take it to the next level. A band program can be a major benefit to any music school. For students, there's built-in accountability and reason to practice, and a strong sense of community and friendship formed from playing music with other people. And for your studio, that strong sense of community means greater student retention, better profit margins, and that dynamic of a band program simply can't be replicated in one-on-one private lessons. In this multi-part series, I'm going to walk you through everything from how to structure your band program and choose the right instructors, all the way to putting on a concert that your students and their families are going to be talking about for months. Today's topic, how to choose songs for your groups. At my rock school, our biggest priority is getting students playing together in bands. Two of the key strategies we use in rehearsals are scaffolding and chunking. Both make complex tasks and big goals more manageable for students. Those same teaching strategies work great in private guitar lessons too, and they're built into my book, Complete Guitar Strumming. It's a straightforward approach to teaching rhythm timing and strumming so students can start playing songs faster. I've used this method for years, and the instructors at my school use it with their students every day. I also created a free instructor companion guide and training videos to help with quick, easy implementation to use with your students too. Both digital and hard copy versions are now available. Visit rockschoolproprietor.com/book to learn more. Welcome back to the Building a Band Program series of episodes on Rock School Proprietor Podcast. My name is John Kazicki. So just last week, I spoke with a music school owner who said that they got a phone call from a prospective family, and they were planning to leave School of Rock, and they were looking for guitar lessons and a similar experience. And the school owner actually reached out to me asking, how hard would it be to put together a band program? So that's exactly what this series is about. If you're thinking of offering a band program or looking for tips to elevate your existing band program, then this is the series where I'm sharing my experiences building my school and having those band programs as the central focus to what we do. The topic that I'm going to talk about today is how to choose songs for your groups. This is a pretty common question that I hear. Do students choose the songs that they'll play in band? And in fact, I get that from other school owners. I get that from my instructors. I get it from the parents of the kids in our band program. And the answer is no, for the most part. And we've got this, we kind of have this system in place where essentially we have different we call them levels. So different levels of bands at my school. And in those earliest levels, the lowest level or the beginner level, absolutely not. The students do not get to choose, the instructors choose. As students progress through the levels, they start to get a little bit more say. So in our next level, what we'll do is we'll take suggestions. We call them suggestions from the students. And in fact, it's really helpful to get those suggestions from the students because it gives some insight into what their interests are. Of course, oftentimes the students have no idea what the band collectively is capable of. They simply view their choices based on what they like to hear or what they like to play through the lens of their own instrument. So again, early stages, instructors choose. That next level up, we'll take suggestions, but ultimately the instructors are still choosing their songs. Then that next level up, generally the kids are pretty capable. So oftentimes it's more of like a curation of those suggestions. So the kids will bring suggestions, and with the instructors' help, they will choose songs based on those suggestions. And then all the way up through our adult bands, oftentimes adult bands are able to choose what they are capable of playing, but that band coach in there, the instructors, they always have the final say. They essentially have veto power to say yes or no to any of these choices, and for good reason, because they're able to look at things from above, like 10,000 feet up, and see, is this going to be a good choice for this group? Are they going to feel confident playing this? Is it going to sound good? Are there any issues that we need to address? So again, instructors are really going to be the people to make those choices. Now, in this episode, How to Choose Songs, I'm not really giving, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give more my top tips more than anything else. Some of the previous episodes in this series, I gave almost like instructions on what to do. This is more, I guess, tips that I've learned over the years, because there's just so many songs and so much variety out there. I think just like I empower my band coaches to be able to navigate this and to figure out what's going to be best for their groups, any individual school or studio is going to be best able to figure out what's going to be good for their program. So again, these are just my tips. So tip number 1, choose songs that aren't at the top of the ability level, that collective ability level of the bands. I talked a little bit about how, in a previous episode in this series, how important confidence is for the kids in your band program. And what I love about these kids in the groups is they want a challenge. They want to feel challenged. They take ownership of playing a challenging song, and it feels good for them to accomplish that. But I always advocate for figuring out, well, what is the collective top ability level of any individual group? And then bump it down a notch or two. Because again, when they get on stage, we want them to be confident. We want them to feel good about playing the song. So that confidence is going to come from not being so hyper-focused on playing the part correctly in the live setting, but it's going to come from just feeling good about knowing that they can play that part, and so that they don't have to focus so intensely when they're performing, but they can actually enjoy that experience. So yeah, tip number 1, choose songs that are not at the top of the band's collective ability level. Tip number 2 is kind of about song structure. A predictable song structure is actually a huge factor in the success of the band getting a song together. And by predictable, I mean even number of measures in a verse. Like, you're going to play this verse 4 times, then you go to this chorus and play that 4 times. Verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, chorus. That's a really predictable song structure. Kids start to inherently just know how these things work. Now, again, going back to, we choose songs based on ability level and skill, take that into consideration too. Yeah, you want to find challenges, but a really complex song structure for a less experienced band, that's just going to lead to bumps in the road all along the way trying to get the song together. So similar song structure, but with a little caveat. I'll offer an experience that I had with a very young group of kids. And when I say very young, I'm talking 8 years old, 9 years old. And this was back in the days when I was very active in coaching groups. I thought, these kids are super beginners to their instrument. Let's choose a really easy song. And I chose Warning by Green Day. And if you're familiar with Warning by Green Day, it's a very cyclical song, very repetitive. What I found was that was actually hard for the group, not because they couldn't play the parts. They could play the parts, but it was almost like without real difference in a verse and a chorus, they just sort of meandered playing the same thing over and over and over again and sort of got lost in the repetitiveness of the song, and they couldn't navigate through it. So we ultimately had to choose a different song with decidedly different verse and chorus parts. Those sections that were different were almost like road marks or landmarks in their path when they're putting the song together. So yeah, tip number 2, consider song structure. I think we often focus on the parts and can kids play them based on, their own ability. But ultimately, when we're working with these kids in bands, they have to put the song together, and song structure is a big part of that. Tip number 3, look out for songs that seem simple on one instrument, but maybe pretty challenging on another. I've encountered this with some other Green Day songs as an example. Green Day songs are really great for guitar players. Pretty simple. They've got most of those elements of song structure that I was talking about. But there are some really hard drum parts in some of those Green Day songs. There are potentially some really hard bass parts in some of those songs comparatively to the guitar parts, right? So in a previous episode of this series, we talked about how to group students into bands, and we focused a lot on age range and ability level, right? So if ability level is sort of this common denominator amongst your group, you can't choose songs where, yes, super simple on one instrument and really complex on another instrument. It's just not going to come together. Unless, of course, the individuals in your group can handle that. But where I see this coming up, at least in my studio, is with the lens of the band coach working with the group. So for instance, if the band coach is primarily a guitar player, they might not be as tuned into what's going on with the drum parts, or vice versa. If the band coach is primarily a drum instructor, they might not be as tuned into guitar parts or keyboard parts or something like that. So when you're choosing songs, look out for that. And then tip number 4, over the course of your lifetime doing band programs, you want to add some variety into the program. This became really important in my studio when I started seeing more and more groups, and they would request the same songs over and over again. We want to avoid those comparisons, especially if you have a situation where maybe a much more inexperienced group plays a song and they go for it and they work hard and they perform it and it's great comparatively, like relative to their experience. And then maybe you have a much more experienced group of, say, 15, 16-year-olds, and they want to play the same song. It's not going to be as challenging for them, and they're going to kill it, and it's going to sound amazing. Now, number 1, we definitely don't want those two songs being played in the same concert, or the same song being played by those two different bands in the same concert. We also want to avoid potential comparisons of the same song being played at one concert and then your next concert. It's what it's doing is we're taking care to let those bands have ownership of that song for a certain amount of time and feel good about what they accomplished with it. So we actually have an off-limits list. And what that means is once a song has been chosen by a particular band and performed, it goes onto an off-limits list where no other band in our school can play that song for 2 years. It's completely off-limits. It can't be done. What that does is it puts some space there. It means that we keep our program fresh. We keep the songs interesting, and we're not hearing the same songs over and over again at these concerts. And we avoid those comparisons. So I mean, if it were up to the students and we didn't have this, we would be playing Seven Nation Army at every single concert that we do. And, I don't want to hear that. Our instructors don't want to hear it. The parents are going to get tired of it. The students would even get tired of it. So that's just one thing that we do to make sure that variety is an important part of what we do with our band program. All right, so those are my little tips on how to choose songs for your band program. If you're enjoying this series, be sure to go back and listen to how to structure your band program, choosing instructors to lead band classes, how to group students into the bands, all of these things and more to come in the Building a Band Program series of Rock School Proprietor Podcast. We'll wrap it up for this one. Thanks, and we'll see you next time. Wait, don't turn off the episode yet. I'm planning to offer a free live webinar to accompany this series in July, where I'll share more details on band programs and how to scale them, and give you the chance to ask questions live. But I've never done this before, so I just need to know that you're interested. So send me an email at info@rockschoolproprietor.com with the subject line webinar, and I'll be in touch with details. If you have topic suggestions or questions, please contact us at info@rockschoolproprietor.com. We'd love to hear from you and hear suggestions for future shows. We've put together some free resources for teachers and studio owners over at rockschoolproprietor.com and a private Facebook group called The Modern Music School. Please join us over there. On social, I'm at rock.school.proprietor on Instagram and John Kazicki on both LinkedIn and Blue Sky. Your ratings and reviews on Apple Podcasts and Spotify are always appreciated. And if you enjoyed the show and gain insight from our conversation, then we count that as a win. All we ask in return is that you pay it forward, and please share the show with someone you think needs to hear it.